building our first levels, but first we need a few ways to kill the player. So let's start by creating a C# script, and we're going to call it insta-kill. And this is going to be a very nice and easy script. And on insta-kill, we're going to get rid of void update, and we're going to have a reference to our game manager. Let's call it GM instead of manager, because that's what we've done in the other ones. And then we can go GM equals game manager dot instance, and then we're going to void on collision enter, and in on collision enter we're going to call gm dot dead. Very nice and simple. So now anything that collides with an object that has this script on it will instantly die. So let's save that. Let's create a cube. Let's go for a cube. Let's also create a new material. Let's call this one insta kill mat, and then let's make that like a red color. Then let's put that on the cube. That did not quite go the color I thought it would, but that will do. So now we know anything that's marked this color is an insta-kill. So this is just for a grey boxing process. So when we design the level, we can mark all the insta-kills out. It's got the material, and let's attach the script. Perfect. Okay. Now let's do a normal damage one. So let's go create C# script, damaging object, let's call it. Visual Studio loves to pop open and not open the new script. Okay, so once again we're going to need a reference to actually we can copy all of this because we're going to do exactly the same thing on damage object. Place our void start, so have a reference to our game manager, but this time we're going to do some integers, so we're going to make these serialized field. Go damage amount, int damage amount, and then we're going to have a game object, serialized field, game object, and damaging object. Okay. So now we are going to get rid of update as well, and then we're going to go. Oh, we destroyed our last bracket. That'll break it. We're going to go void on collision enter. I'm going to write if collision dot game object dot tag is equal to player. Let me make that a string, but so we're going to check if it's our player that we collided with. Then we're going to go gm dot what's our variable called for our player's health. We need this to be a public variable so that it's accessible by other scripts. Dot health minus equals a damage amount. So each time it collides, we're going to minus equal the damage amount. But also, usually with these sort of things, Um, you can let's make it optional. I changed my mind. Okay, let's go bool uh, is single damage. Typoed again. Hold that shift for just a second too long. And we're also going to make this, just copy paste. We're going to make this serialized field as well so we can access this in inspector. And then we're going to go if single damage destroy damaging object. Perfect. Let's make this look readable. Perfect. So now if the player collides with this object that is holding this script, we're going to remove the damage amount from the player's health. And then if this is a single damage item, so the item we don't want it to exist anymore, we're going to destroy it. Now, if the player stays in collision with this object, they won't take damage multiple times. They have to leave the object and then return to it. So generally I would do this for only things that like a bullet that's shooting or some spikes that you want to land on and then break the spikes. If we're doing some damage over time, we'd need to use a different system, and we'll go through that in the next episode. So let's just set up one of these quickly first as well, and let's test our stuff before we move on. All right, so we're going to make another cube. Let's rename our cubes. Let's call this one Insta Kill. Let's call this one Damage Cube. Let's call it Insta Kill Cube. So, okay. Let's attach damaging. Let's set our damage amount to 25. Let's make it the item. So the reason why we wrote a damaging object here is maybe you wanted something else to hold it. Maybe if you wanted to have multiple objects held by one, you could instead make this array. So you could call this that, but then instead of destroying, you'd have to destroy them all one at a time. So you would do that by going for int I equals 0, I plus plus. I did that in the wrong order. So you would use a for loop like this. If you wanted to have one object and destroy all of the other objects, this is probably not how I would do it, but it's a potential way that you could use it. But let's just return it to how it was. because I think it's better for each object to hold it specifically. But maybe you wanted a parent object to hold it for some reason, so you could have set it up like that. And then let's set it to single damage. Let's put that back in because we changed it, removed it, and then let's make a material. Let's call this single damage. And then let's make the color of this like let's make it like a yellow. And then we'll put that onto there. So now we can know that if we put yellow cubes down, they'll do a single instance of damage if the player runs into it. So let's go into play. Look around. So when we hit the yellow cube, it should chunk our health and then destroy itself. Yeah, very good. We lost a life and we can see the yellow cube's no longer there. And then if we run into the red one, oh, it kills us and we respawn. So perfect. Everything's working as intended. See you in the next video.